I have another different exercise today where we will be including various features like searching, sorting, filtering, and also what maybe model we can also add. So let me check it. Okay. All right, so this is the to-do list that we have done yesterday together. And let me create another folder to put them down inside. So what else we can add over here is actually, yeah, you can continue working. For example, removing is already functional, and for the checkbox, what was that? Inbox input style checkbox. If this one is clicked based on that ID, yeah, for example, for the checkbox, we can add something right now. So let me first run this app. PM start. So say that if the checkbox is clicked, what does it mean? It means that that task is done, that task is completed. Okay, so let's add here, let's say gym, and then we have checkbox, right? And then remove, so we can remove it the moment. Let's keep adding. Let me make actually a little more design for this one. So here we can add a style, giving him quick border. Okay, so 1 pixel solid, let's say black, and then say that display flex. Okay, and what was that? Align items center, right? On at center actually, and then flex direction, space, no, not space direction, justify content, right? Space between. And we can remove this margins from paragraph, as well as from checkbox, also from the button. Save. So what it did, border 1 pixel, so in black. Oh, it's still working. Okay, now it looks okay. And also I can make such that this one occupies only some width. Okay, width of let's say that only like 80, not, let's say that 200 pixels at the moment. Somewhere here, maybe even more, 400. Okay. One more also, quickly flex direction, justify content, align items. Okay, yeah, so this is first task. Another task is this one, right? And this one is another task, keeps adding, so on, so on. So if we have AS, oh, okay, we are not able to now filter out whether we have that kind of task or not, right? Because of this array of objects. So that can be done simply here. For example, tasks is an array, but inside we have objects. We have to jump one by one. In this case, we will remove this, okay, and check here. So let's say that exists or not, okay. So when we add a new task, we will check. So handle add new task. Yeah, we will check if this task name, which already contains what? Some string, right? Let's say that sleeping. If the task name would be something coming from input a value. So that's going to be tested if that one is inside this tasks. Okay, tasks as a title value. So how can we check? We can do something like that. For example, find index. So let's say that if there is an index for this kind of task in our objects, so we will return the index, right? And if there is no, the index would be -1. Or we can also filter actually, and based on the length of this variable, we will decide whether to go or not. So let's say tasks, okay, tasks dot filter, and then I dot title equal to task name. Okay, so if we have at least one array, it means that we have that such kind of task in our state. So say that if sleeping is already here, so during this filtering, this exists or not will return one array with object, right? One array with object with the title of that one, sleeping. Okay, we'll get this. The tasks in array of objects, and then task name is something that is coming from input value. So if we have that input value in our task state, then this filter will return at least one array, right? Array of object. So as a result, it will have length. But if we don't have such, let's say, task name in our tasks, then it's going to return nothing but just what? Empty array. Empty array. So based on that array length, we can decide here, okay, if exist or not dot length, then go forward. So what does that mean here? If we have something in our input value, and if we of course do not have the exist or not length, right? So let's say that the input value is sleeping and we don't have such task, and then it's gonna return an empty array. Okay, empty array means false, and to make it true, we will put here exclamation mark. Then we will go further. So based on the length of that filtering logic, we can either add a new task or not. Okay, so let's try to add now. Refresh. Yes, and next time yes. It says please type something different or don't leave empty. Okay, we're not able to add anymore the same task. Cool. Now let's say that if we click this checked, what we can do is we can draw a line through. We can draw a line through. Okay, so line through can be drawn based on some logic. Let's say based on logic. So let's say when we click, we will get what? We will get when we click, or actually we can do something like this. So that would be better and then simpler. So where is the place we are creating a new object is here, right? Here. Okay, in every single task we have title and an ID, and we can also put here initially, okay, completed to false. Okay, one more object. So this way, every time a new task is created, the task has title, ID, and then this completed property, which is false. Okay, which is false. Now, every task has this completed property false until the checkbox is clicked. Okay, so based on this completed, we will decide whether putting here a line through or not. Okay, so here what we can do is for the paragraph, we can say class name is gonna be what? Say that this one. Class name would be decided based on task that complete. If this one is true, we will apply what? Line through. Otherwise, we don't put any class name. So when we have this line through class name, this paragraph will be crossed with a line. Okay. So at the moment, no one has this task completed through. Everyone has false. That's why no one has this line through property. Okay. So what if we have one true over here? I mean, all of them is true. Let's say all of them is true. Then every time during that mapping, we find that task completed is true for every object. Okay, and every object will get, every paragraph will get this class name line through, and as a result, that text will be crossed. But at the moment, it's not crossed. Why? Because we don't have such class in our CSS, right? So we can go and then add that to CSS somewhere here in app CSS and put in here. If anyone will have this property, it will be affected such that they are crossed. Okay, what was that? Line through. Don't remember. If you remember how to text decoration, right? I think text decoration line through. Okay, anyone having this property will be crossed with line. Okay, and then now let's import this one. Import app CSS. Save. Now looks like every time when we create an object, we are what explicitly putting here a true value, and during the mapping operation, that task complete is true for everyone, and then that's why the class name is applying line through, and line through is this one, text decoration, right? As a result, if we have like 100 tasks, 100 new tasks, all of them will be crossed with line, right? Now let me refresh this. All of them will be crossed with the line. Let's say ASD, and look at this. It is crossed with line. Okay. Okay, that one already exists. ASD now, and some random. It's also crossed. Everyone is crossed. Why? Because during the new task creation, we are putting here true. So we're gonna make it false. Okay, we're gonna make it false. Let's refresh it now. We will cross only when the checkbox is clicked for that particular task. Okay, when the checkbox is clicked. So now using this checkbox, we can update the object's completed property. Okay, let's go ahead and put here one more event listener on change. Okay, on change. So when there is a change, we will capture this input text's checked prop attribute, right? Checked property. So when we check, checked attribute becomes true. When we uncheck, checked attribute becomes false. Okay. Handle, let's say, check. So handle check should receive what ID of which task we are clicking on. So when we click, we have to send ID of this guy. When we click this one, ID of this one, this object. Okay. So in that case, handle check will get what? Task ID, right? So task is my object, ID is the property over here that we create every time during object creation. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create this task ID, create this function, save, and I'll put here const, and then this one. Let's see what kind of ID we are receiving every time when we check and then uncheck. Okay, ID, let's say check, save. Let's have a look with the console. Now, console is going to show us something. Look at this. If I click this one, I checked an object with the ID of 1. If I click this one, I clicked an object with the ID of 2. Again, 2, 2, 2, 2. If I click this one, the object of ID 1. Okay. So here, if I try to capture, for example, if I try to capture by putting here, by sending him one more, one more parameter using event, and then sending him here as well, event, and then capturing over here like an event, I will see what is the status of the event that target that checked attribute. Okay, console.log event that target dot checked. Okay, so when I click, it shows me whether it's checked or not. Now let's have a look. Let me refresh this one again. So adding one item, add, let me remove and click this one. You see, ID of 1 is clicked, and then the checked attribute is now true. If I click again, ID of 1 is clicked, checked attribute is false. Okay. Okay, I have ID, and then I have the target dot checked attribute value. So based on ID, I can grab first which object is clicked. Okay, that one is simple. It can be done with a filter, right? So let filtered object. Oops. Let's say. So I have to find out, actually, without filter. Let me find out where that object is located using find index. Okay, let find int equal to from tasks dot find index, and then let's say I dot id equal to this ID. Okay, so if I have an object whose ID is equal to this incoming ID, find index will return me the index of that object. Okay, so let's say if I click the first element, it shows me index of that first object, which is 0. Okay, index of object is 0. So this one is 0. For example, if I click the sleeping task, if I click walking task, the ID is 2. Okay, whoever has this ID 2, which is equal to ID of this incoming ID, and this find index returns me index of 1 because it's in the second position. Okay, so don't confuse. There is a difference between ID number and an index. Okay, using this index, I'll jump into my tasks now. Let's say let new data equal to dot 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 tasks, and then tasks, and then new data find index, whichever it found me, and then dot here. What I would do is completed becomes based on previous condition. Let's say if it's false, it becomes true. If it's true, it becomes false. Okay, I will just toggle between these two states, making this way. Okay, I will just toggle. So now let's have a look, refresh, and start again. Adding a new task. If I click, okay, it is now true, but looks like it didn't make it the completed true, right? Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Why? Because we haven't updated the state. All right, so we haven't updated state. Now we just have to update our state one more time. So put here, instead of this one, we're gonna put new data, save it. All right, now we'll see again. Is the add task, refresh. If I click, shows me crossed. Click again, uncrossed, crossed. See? Another new task. Click this one, checked, and click this unchecked. Check, and we can remove even. You see? So one more time, let's sync up. This class name, as if there is a class name of empty. Okay, so when there is a class name of empty, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen regarding the CSS. But when there is a class name of line through, or we have a CSS line through, where it applies horizontal line, right? But when we will decide to put this line through or not to put is based on the Boolean value of every object's completed property. Okay, so here what are we doing? We are looping over the objects, over our tasks array. And then this task is an iterator which grabs the objects one by one. And okay, this task can be first object, then second object. When it's a first object, if I put here completed, it can grab me its value. Initially, every object is completed false. Okay, this goes false. If it goes false, it will grab this CSS where we won't have any line through. Okay, so when this line through happens, so when I apply change for my checkbox, let's say I click this on checkbox on change, and then I'm firing this function handle check and it's sending him two information, which is ID of currently clicking task and then also event. And based on this ID, what I'm doing is I'm doing what? Based on this, I'm finding out where that object is located. Okay, so when I click this one, so since we have only one object in our state, the index will return 0, right? Because the ID has the equal ID of first object, whose index is 0. All right, using that 0, I'll just put here 0, and the new data 0 gives me access to that object, and then making the completed what? To toggle to the other mode or other status. So if it is used to be false, now it becomes true. If it used to be true, it becomes false. Okay. Or we can also put this one, event.target.checked. Instead of that toggling, we can also apply this one. Based on this true false, this completed becomes available. Like initially it's false, and when we click, okay, if it's true, this completed becomes true. And then when we click uncheck again, this event target checked is false. Okay, completed becomes false again. And then now we simply update our state. Okay, any questions? Okay, so this way you can keep adding tasks.
Oh, I have a quick question because so when I was like trying to test like the work on a little bit differently the task project that we did, which is this one. If you want to use enter key on the add task, do you have to use form, or is there a way to use enter key with button?
When you what? Say it again.
Because like when you use button, you can do on click, but then when you do form, you can press enter.
Oh yeah.
But then can you use enter for button, or do you have to put button inside a form to do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. You have to put inside the form.
Okay.
In that case, yeah. In that case, you have to put in, and I'm not sure if button works, but you can make it this one button, or not button, sorry, submit. Then you can click enter. Okay. Yeah, let's have a look now. Yeah, you see submit. There is a one submit. So this one becomes available for the enter clicks. It should be wrapped inside a form then. Okay. Let me run this again. It's kind of running a little weird. So if I add one, add again. Okay. So we don't have anything in the state. That's correct. Correct. Now, if I click this, becomes, oh, when I click the first one is checked. Okay, that's interesting. So if I click, say that, I think I did mistake, right? Here I put, okay, 0, that's why. Save it, find index, now it should work. Okay. So if I want to remove this one, that one gets rid of, and we don't have anything else. Yeah, that's the way how we can implement to-do task. And you can, of course, come up with different designs like to-do list, React. So we don't have any design at the moment, but the functionality is much more the checkbox, you see, line through, and then as well as the delete buttons. You see, you can also implement this one. So as for the button and some other components, let's quickly implement the material UI or React Strap. I think you have covered the material UI, right? Have you?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, let me show one more time. So we have to install that material UI. What's material UI is actually the whatever you know regarding the Bootstrap is same for React material UI. That's a built-in responsive components where you don't need to design, you don't need to implement some components from scratch. So material UI React. So here we go. And what we have to do is just install this package, or we can get started, and then installation also shows over here. Okay. So what I can do, material icons material, or let's see, install everything first. And so we have material, React, emotions, all of those. Okay. All right. So once it is installed, what we can do is look at this, guys. From components, we can grab whichever the part we want. For example, button, we can get this one, link type, contain type. Let's grab this primary, very simple button. Contain, disabled. So for instance, this one outlined. Okay. So how we can implement is actually we have to import it first. Okay, like this. import button from material. It should be first installed. Once it's done, you're gonna put here and import it. Okay, now it is imported, and then it's completely possible to use. So let's get this one. Right, so instead of these buttons, I would like to put here material UI button and attach still the same on click. Control C, still the same, and then we don't want this one anymore. Okay, save it. And we have those material UI will be attached every time we'll be creating new task. Okay, so one more thing. So looks like what is still missing? Let me check if Bootstrap. Okay. Oh, okay, it's here. Sorry, the primary. You see, but the button is already designed. And as for, let's say, as for the input box, we can also grab one for the input component. Okay, so inputs, input field, where that can be image popper components API, no style. It should be inside the forms. Either in the form, link, navigation, progress, list, surface, button. Okay, I can quickly check it. Material UI input field. Okay, text field. Now, this one works pretty well, hopefully. So this text field, okay, it's gonna be, yeah, you can get also this one, the last one, okay. Just look at this, the third one. Save. And where is that input field? Is here, right? Of course, we have to import that one using here. Save it. And put down below here. Let me grab my charger. Okay, so the input is attached, and instead of this HTML input, I'll just go and then update this C and then here. Oh, we don't want this one anymore. Okay, save it. Let's take a look. Refresh. Yeah, we have that materialized input. And for the button also, we can grab the same button. Okay, this one. Control C, put here. But we want only this click, right? Instead of this remove task. But we don't want this anymore. And instead of primary, we'll make it just a plus icon. Okay, and then here, what? Remove, save. And not outlined, you can make something different. But anyway, yeah, okay. See, now everything is more designed. Remove and so on, so on. You see? Same. Add. Okay. Remove, check, uncheck, check, remove, so on. Make sense? Material UI. All right. Any questions?
No.
Perfect. So button, that's for heading. It's just a standard input field. And as a form, hello, there are different input fields, error type input field for the currency, for the users, for the passwords. Yeah. Yeah, this a Google input field is also accessible. See, this the code is this one. We just want to use this code and make it as Google. See, please enter text. Yep. So next, let me put this inside a to-do list file. Inside a to-do list file. To-do list. And put everything inside. We're gonna start with another new project. So to-do list, I'll take this app and put here. CSS also I can put. Okay. Carousel image, where they are coming from. Carousel image slider here. It should be here, right? Child input component. What is this one? That's for the yesterday class, I think. Okay, so we don't want this anymore. Creating a new two files, app.css and app.js, app.js and app.css. Okay, so app.js is gonna be our main function. I would like to design a shopping cart now. So let me show you a design over here. Actually, yeah, we have the browser open, right? So draw and shopping cart. So it looks more or less something like this. Okay, this kind of shopping cart where we have different images over here. This one, this one, this one, this one, different images. Okay, and their text say that iPhone. Okay, and here down below the price, let's say $299, and for all same. And of course, we have two more features here: up and then down, up and then down for him, up and then down, up and then down. Okay, so so how many iPhones you want to select? So let me put here another text. Say that here Samsung. Okay, and whose value is 199, for example. So initially you selected 0, so you have 0 selections. You have 0 selections. You have 0 selections. If I click this up button, this one becomes 1. Okay. So if I click this down button, okay, this one becomes again 0. So 1 disappears. So if I click here up button, if I click up button, this one becomes 1. Clicking again becomes 2. Clicking again becomes 3. Let's say. Okay, so I want to purchase 3 items. And then if I click the minus button, it becomes 2 minus, it becomes 1, and then click 1. I mean, click the down arrow, becomes 0. If I click one more time, it won't become -1. Okay, it go until 0. Okay, but it can go as far as the positive value, but as negative, there is no way for negative values. We can go until 0. If I click this down arrow, that's it. And then another feature. So say that we selected 2 from here, and then 1 here. So how much is going to be total? In that case, this one makes 199, right? 199. And then this one makes, roughly 398. Okay, over here, or down below here, I should have the total showing these two, the sum of two. Okay, so it's what? Let's say roughly 600. I have purchased so far. So in my shopping cart, I have collected 600 worth items. If I click one more, there are two there are two Samsungs. So that this one gets increased, this one also gets increased. Okay, if I click another item, let's say who costs only $15, if I click 10 times, but this one costs how many? 500, right? I should see here 100, sorry, $1,100 over here. Okay, it's showing all the totals after multiplying by these counts. So 2 multiplied by this one, 2 multiplied by this one, 10 multiplied by this one, plus makes the total cost. Okay, so this is our design, and we will implement step by step as much as we can for today. So let's have a break. After a break, we'll continue. So let's continue. The design is obvious, so it's gonna be kind of shopping cart. Okay. So let's start designing it now. So starting with import of necessary libraries, use state from React and creating the function app, and then return div hello, and then export default app. Let's have a look if we have this output hello right here. Okay, so hello is on our UI now. Now next, let's create the cart, first cart. Okay, which will be home for the images. Okay, so we can go with this one. So in this case, can make it class name cart, and then let's import our CSS, import app CSS, save. Let me open that CSS as well on the separate screen, putting here. Okay, so cart, let's give the width of like 20% of the screen. Okay, initially, I mean all the time 20%. Or let's make it 30%, and then quick border to see where it is. So 1 pixel solid black, and then display flex, and what next is a margin auto to put in the middle. See, yeah, we have here the cart, but at the moment nothing inside. Now we can also give quick height for it, like 100 VH. Okay, yeah, 100 VH. And now let's start putting our data. So I want to create a data in different files. Say here data.js. Okay, so on const data is gonna be our array of objects, something like this. Okay, one, and then another, and then another. Okay, so this is our data, how it looks like. So it has, of course, a title, say that random, okay, iPhone, and then next, yeah, we can put ID starting from 1, and then we can put the price, okay, and assigning here some integer, let's say 299.9. Okay. And what else? Yeah, price, ID, title. Is there anything? Count. Initially, there is only 0. Okay, count 0, let's say. And then. Okay, same for the rest. Save and then put him. So in this case, not iPhone. Let's say Samsung, and then Motorola, and maybe one more. Say that Nokia, and the price is 199. Oops. Anyway, 299 is for him, and 300, or not 300, just 200, and then 350. Okay. ID will get 2. ID will get 3. ID will get 4. And one more, we need image property, right? So here it will get some image. Let's grab that image from some resources. Let's say iPhone 12 images, and then we can get, for instance, this one and copy image address and put inside our image. So here is the image for iPhone 12, and then here image property for, say that Samsung Note. What was that? Samsung Note 20, let's say. Okay, so image, let's grab quickly one. For instance, which one? Say this one works. This one works. Okay. This one looks okay, but I don't want this with what was that? There was a seal in the middle. Let's grab this maybe. Okay. Copy image address and go put over here. Cool. And one more over here. So for Motorola smartphone. Okay. So we can get this guy. Copy image address. Put here. Finally, Nokia, right? Image, and let's say Nokia. This one. All right, so let's get this way with keyboard. Okay, copy image address. Here you go. Save. Yep. Now we just can export this one. Export data. Okay. Export default. Export default data. Actually, we can just put here. Oops. Export. And we don't need this one. Save. Okay. All right. Now let's go and then import that one. Import.
Can you share the data, please?
Of course. Let me put over the chat. So is in the class or class chat. Yep. Here you go. The data. So yeah, data from data. Okay, and now let's have a look if we can read that one. Console.log data save. Okay. And let's go to our UI. We don't want any more this one. We don't want this one. So let's console quickly. Yeah, we have array of 4 objects. Perfect. Count is 0, ID 1, image, and then price iPhone. And then for the next one, count 0, and so on and so on and so on. Okay. Now, next task is to put them on our UI. Okay. how can we put this? So we can fix it in our state const, like, let's say, what was that? Inventory items. Okay, set items would be enough. Items, and then use state. Use state. Next is just data. Okay, let me close this side. Inventory items, set items, and data. And so let's start mapping this one over here. We have cart, okay, and then here we can put inventory items that map, and then let's put here just single item and return starting using the what, the div. Okay, div. What I would like to return is one div. So look at this, I'm just mapping, okay, nothing. So if I remove all of those stuffs, let's say put here and then create here just a P paragraph, and I'm putting here item dot title would give me all the titles coming from data, right? iPhone, Samsung, Motorola. So how many? Like 4 paragraphs would be listed like this. iPhone, Samsung, Motorola, Nokia. It's okay. And if I put here ID, it's gonna show me 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put here what? Image, it's gonna show me 4 image links, right? So there are 4 image links, which is randomly distributed. Okay, and so using those properties, I can draw way structured what, a cart component. So inside here, this div will have a couple of items inside. One of them is image, okay, which is img, and then the other one is the paragraph, okay, which will hold the title item, that title, okay. And as for source, I'll put what? Simply item dot image, right? Because this data has image property, which has some link where we can grab images. And then title is just title, okay? And also I can put here price. Okay, now we will have a main cart inside 4 different carts. Every inner cart has image, and then what, title, then price. So as for alt distribution, we can also put here again item the title for the description. Okay, that's it. Save it. We're gonna have now where design. So let's fix our images in our CSS. Let's make such that all images are at the moment around 120 pixels. Okay, now it would be better. Cart, okay, img, oh, it's not a class, okay. So it's not a class, so here we have img, and everything is it's as small as possible, okay. So how can we send them down on top of each other? Is by giving him another class name, right? Class name, let's give him, this was cart, and this was, let's say, single cart, okay. So for the single cart, I would like to give another bunch of CSS roles. So display, flex, and then flex direction column. Okay. So at the moment I make the display flex, okay, the column is not necessary at the moment, but for him I need flex direction column. Okay. Because if I don't give this flex column, these items are positioning next to each other. That's why I'm giving him column. So these are positioned on top of each other. Save, save. Okay. Okay. The images are on top. And next, so what we can do is so let's put here other what header, for example. Here I can put one header saying that this is my shopping cart. Okay, and then also we will display some more features later on. So one header at the top can be put here with the one div, and then let's say that it's h5 shopping cart. Okay, so this div also has another class name. Let's say header, and it's gonna be here dot header. Okay, which will occupy 100% of its parent. But as for the height, I would like to give some height, like 100 pixels. Okay, and then some background color of, let's say, this one, and then text color of white. Okay, and then also padding of maybe 20 pixels. Save it, save it. Okay, yeah, here we have a header. Looks like the color is not that attractive. Let's make it a little different. Shopping cart. Okay, this is my header. And down below, I will have one more, let's say, input button. Okay, let's grab that input button from Material UI, because we may be searching in the future. Okay, please list me only items starting from letter I, okay, or S. So for that purpose, I want one input button, input component. Let's grab this one or this one. Let's grab this. So which is text field. Okay, text field, and that should be imported, of course. And then outlined one is the first one, right? First one. Take it and put down below another div and inside this div. Okay, save it. Let's have a look. Okay, here we have our text field now. Cool. So for this one, I can also apply quick some CSS class name. Let's say search field. Okay, for the search field, I can give margin from top, also from bottom margin. So top, bottom, 10 pixels, and right, left. What we can do, auto. Okay, but auto doesn't work. Yeah, auto may work. So auto may work, and then I have to give him a width, right? If I give width, auto works. Like how much? Like 60% of the parent. Let's see. Okay. Okay, search field is here, save, and then 10 pixels from top, auto from right, left, and then width of 60% is around in the middle. Okay, so we may be searching later. Cool. This is our more or less a cart design. Okay, makes sense. Or I actually don't need to make it 60%, but auto also doesn't work. Let's make it display flags and then justify content center, align items center. So this way it is more in the center position. Okay. Cool. Now next task is to start building these cards. Okay, these cards. All right, so they have single card. Okay, single card. Well, where is that one? Over here. Let's give them quickly border at the moment. 1 pixel solid gray. Okay, solid gray. So this is our single card. And somehow we have to increase maybe the image size from 1 to 50, let's say. Okay, also give what image size is a little smaller, still small, right? But how can we make it not 150? So search. So this is the what? Single card, right? Single card. So let's make it occupy. Occupy the height of what? If I put here 15% of the parent, right? Yeah, it's much better now. 15, even like 20% of the parent, 25. Okay, 25%. Actually, 20 would be okay, 20%. And then the width is gonna be, what was that? 100%, not 100%, let's say height. Height would be 100% of the parent, and plus width would be 100%, let's say. Okay, that's what we are looking for. Of course, not 50, not even 50, like 30. Okay, 40 maybe. In a way, more or less it works, or we can put here 80. Save. Okay. So I just make the image the height of 80, width of 40. That's enough, I think. And the rest we will be working. So okay. And then next next task is it looks like this is not the good image, right? It should be kind of PNG. Let's remove that one. Some not 120. I'll just have to update that Samsung image. So for instance, this one works pretty much better, but this one even better. How about this? All has some thumbnail in the middle. Yeah, let me get this anyway. Search copy image address and replace that Samsung. Save it. I don't want anymore. Okay. Yep. Something should be updated by now. Let me refresh it one more time. Yep. Right. So we have text and the shopping cart title. Then over here, what? The title as well as the price. So let's work on that price part. What we can do for this price. For the price, I can put here one line breaker. Okay, line breaker. So price goes down. Price goes down. Why it didn't go? The price didn't go down, right? Yeah, title and then price. Interesting. Single card because of flex. Okay, and all right. So I think because of flex. Okay, so only thing is to move this price down. So how can we do that one? Since this is flex, every item is next to each other, so I can wrap this one with another div, this price, and then the title. Okay, price and then title next to each other. And then, yeah, they are now separated. Let me see how the border looks like. Class name and the border. So here we have the border. I want it to be in the middle. These items somewhere in the middle. Okay, somewhere in the middle. So that can be achieved. Let me give him what? Some class name quickly. Title and then price class names. Okay. Save it. Take it over here. So I think text align center would work. Didn't work. Save it. Didn't work. Okay, but vertically didn't work. text align center didn't work. So I can go and make it again. Display flex. This is the most used line items property, and then justify content center. This puts in the middle. Okay, but I can make flex direction column. Save it. Okay, so perfect. Only thing is left here. We gonna put here 1 plus and then minus icons. Let's find out if we have some icons over here from material UI. So say that up arrow icons. Do we have arrow icons controlled? What is that? Not interactive. Okay, so icons. Where is that icons section? Text area, components, styles. What does the styles mean? Basic. So for example, I want icons, right? Okay, inside icons. Okay, looks like here we have all the trash icons and then home icons. Oh, that one, perfect. I was looking something like this, plus. So let's get them, which is what is that? Circle, right? Okay. Icon, and yeah, this one works. Icon, Control C, and then add circle, everything is add circle. Okay, that one works really well. So let's grab them. Put over here icon, and then. So for the first or second one, which is I think primary. Okay, this one primary works pretty well. So I will add 2 more icons for every object. Okay, every card. So add circle, and then so I need 1 more minus. Okay, I want a minus also here if that is possible. Can we do that one? Let me try to see first if it works. Okay, it didn't work. See, it didn't work. Why? Add circle. Where that add circle is coming from? That okay. So link icons. So this one is where that is coming from. Inside the box we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Color primary. Add circle icon. Okay, this SX is not used in our case. But why it didn't work for us? Box, we didn't use box. Let's check if icon is installed or not. Material icons. Let's try to install this one icons material. Maybe it's not installed. Where is that package JSON? Material. Wow, looks like yeah, not installed. Let's quickly install that one also. Icons. We see the material UI is really helpful library for creating fast and responsive applications. So the other one would be minus if we can find that minus. Not sure. Add circle. How about arrow? Arrow tooltip? No, not tooltip. arrow icon. Let's try to find an arrow icon maybe. This one. Okay. Can still wait, but oh, okay, it's done. It's done. Now let's check. Refresh. Okay, it didn't work anyway. Let's remove this, but okay, this total. Okay, remove and just I would just go and put it here to what plus and then minus at the moment. Okay, that would work for me. Plus minus, but I just have to make sure it is moved to the right. So how can I make it that is moved to the right? Is by putting some class name over here, total price plus, let's say, what add or let's say mode add remove or not add remove, let's say plus minus icons. Okay, so let's apply here plus minus. What it does for us is so I would like to apply some margin left of 20 pixels. 20 pixels. Okay. Save. Let's have a look and refresh. Should be moved. Plus minus didn't work. Well, let me check the border. Okay, 1 pixel solid red. Save. Oh, okay. This one won't work. 20 pixels. That should work. Yeah, it's here. And what I can do is even I can move more with 80%, 80 pixels to the right. Okay, 80 pixels to the right. And here, one span that's gonna show me how many items selected. So 0 there are, and make all font size to RAM. Okay, and there are more plus and minus. Okay, now let's remove this border. Save. Okay, now UI is done. Let's try start working on the functionalities. Okay, start working on functionalities. All right. Now, do you want something me to share with you guys? The design.
Yeah, can you share the app.js?
Okay. Yeah, I can share app and then CSS, and you have the data, and then we will start everything together regarding functionalities. So, and we'll put the app for you on the Slack chat and make it work, guys. Okay. So for the text field, make sure that you install the material UI. Okay. But you can also remove that text field and come up with just input text from regular HTML. Okay. So we have only that one. You can just put here regular HTML input. And for the CSS, let me share that CSS also. Okay. Now, what you have to do is create app.js, app CSS, and data.js. Data.js, I already shared. Okay. And then app CSS, put all the CSS that I put on the Slack channel, and make sure you imported everything from data as well as from CSS. Okay. Cool. Now, the design is ready. Okay. Design is ready. So let's start attaching an event listener for the plus first. Okay, for the plus first. For the plus first, what we can do is, let's first put here quickly cursor pointer for them. Okay, for this one, for this one, for this one, and for this one separately, we will apply some functionality, but the cursor pointer not for him, but for them separately. Let me put, okay, styled. What was that? Cursor pointer, right? Cursor pointer, and same for Control C, same for the minus. Okay, say this and say this, just to be able to click, and then here we won't be able to click, and here again. Great. Now, and next, the aha point is coming for plus. Let's attach here what event listener, which is on click. So during that on click, I'd like to fire a function. Okay, so let's say handle increase. Okay, handle increase, and I can close the CSS handle increase. And on click for the minus, I would like to go with handle decrease, okay, handle decrease. And so instead of this 0, I would like to show the exact number of counts coming from data. So since we are mapping every inventory items with the help of item, right? So we can also show here item.count property. Okay, every object has now count 0 because we haven't selected anything at the moment. Everyone is all these item counts are coming from backend. Okay, and handle increase and handle decrease are not defined. Let's go ahead and start creating here const and put here. It's gonna be our arrow function. This one is created, and also for handle decrease. Okay, save it and run it. Save it. Cool. Handle increase, handle decrease is created, and an item count shows us the number of items selected for every object, for every phone. Okay. So initially nothing. So if I, let's say that selects in the feature from iPhone 10 times, okay, this would become 10. So what it makes is it ends up showing me 10 here for iPhone. Okay, 10 iPhones. Let's see. There's gonna be 10 iPhones. Okay. So I shouldn't be going I shouldn't be able to go below 0. That's another functionality. We're gonna fix that. Save. Yep. Refresh. All right. So one behavior of React is missing here. So we have to apply what? Key for every returned card. So in that case, key is gonna be item.id. Okay, item ID perfectly matches for this warning resolution. All right, so when we click, what should we receive now? We should be able to receive the ID of, right? ID. Based on ID, we will jump into our data, right? Based on ID, we will jump into our data. And let's say that iPhone is clicked. Okay, I have to send the ID of that click type, iPhone, right? So in that case, I will hand him, hey, take this ID, which is item.id. Okay. And when I decrease, I should be able to also send the same way. Hey, take this ID and do whatever you want. So item.id. Okay. To say that if I click iPhone, okay, I'm receiving ID in my functions. So based on that function name, if it's increase, I will increase this count. If it's this decrease, I will decrease this count. Okay, discount values. All right, so ID is coming for both. ID is coming for both. Okay. Now I should first find where this iPhone is located. Is it in the beginning? Is it in the middle? Is it somewhere else in at the end? Or where? Right? Using what? Index again. So let find int equal to from inventory items, okay, which is already data, that find index, and then I, whoever has I.id equal to this incoming ID, okay, so it ends up returning me some index, right? If I click, let's say Motorola, it shows me 2. If I click Nokia, it's going to show me 3, okay? So if it shows me 3, I can use this index like this. Look at this, inventory items, and then put here find index. What it gives me, let's say this one is 3, and then inventory items 3. Oh, okay, this one gives access me to this object, right? All right, if that's so, I can update its count property by 1 every time when I click. So this would be updated, but of course not this would be updated, but here we have a state that already holds the same copy. Okay, so this is the original, but we have the same copy in our data. I mean, in our state. Okay, so state gets updated with this count increased, and then we will see in our UI. But I'm not going to directly mutate my state. So let me first create a new data by spreading my state, right? Inventory data, inventory items, and then I will use this new data to update my object count, okay? Actually plus plus. And then what I'm going to do is set items would be this new data, okay? That's it. Let's have a look now. See? That individually showing me. And look at here, what are we actually consoling here? So if I want the console, console this inventory items, save it. Let's refresh and refresh. Look at this inventory items is all having what? All having count 0. Now, if I click here, 1, it's gonna show me count 1. Click for 3 times him, even 4 times. It shows me Motorola's count is 4, and the rest is 1, 0, 0. Okay, and for this one, let's see. The Nokia also count is 4, Motorola 4, and then iPhone is 1 still. Make sense? And here is the logic. Every time when I click handle increase, I'll send the ID of which item I'm clicking, and based on that ID, I'm grabbing out the location of that object. Okay, so let's say that if Nokia is clicked, the ID is sent. ID is over here, and then I'm looking for where this ID equal to 4 is located. So find index is a method, is a higher order function that finds where the location of this object is. In other words, we can also find using the regular loop. For example, initially I would make it let find index, okay, equal to nothing, let's say, and then for let I of what inventory items, I'll check it if okay I dot ID is equal to this ID, okay, this ID. What I would do is, so I need the index, right? Not of is not doesn't work. For let I in inventory. So it's going to return me index. So I will use here inventory items i.id. Okay, because I becomes index. So in that case, I will put initial as 0. Okay, 0th object. Hey, is your ID equal to whatever I clicked? Let's say Nokia, which is 4. It says no. Second object is iterated. And then I'm checking here by putting here what? Instead of I'll put here 1. Then I'll ask, hey, is your ID equal to 4? It says no. Next time I becomes 2, I'll have access to the third object and checking again, is ID equal to 4? No. Next time I becomes 3, which gives me access to the last object whose ID is 4 and my incoming ID is also 4. Okay, then let's make this let find becomes equal to I. Okay, becomes equal to I because this I is index. So this way you can also come up with a logic. Okay, so I'll put here comma. Okay, actually not this way. Yeah, find index and then just put here find index again. This one also works. Save it. Okay. So count cannot read purpose undefined reading count. Where is that count? Find int. Okay, we applied number. Refresh. Okay, so line on okay, here find int. So we have to make sure that find index. So inventor, okay, this 3. All right, so not 3. This is I. Okay, all the time I. So now click again. Now it works perfectly. Okay. So using regular loop also works, or find index high order function also works. Okay. And how about the decrease is still same? Okay, nothing. Everything is still same. I'll just copy everything over here. So let me get this and then put here, but just decrease it. Minus minus. Okay, save it. So look at this. I can go even negative values. And look at the iPhone is -10. Okay, -10. So that decrease is a problem. We can only work with decrease if only, let's say that if only, okay, the count is not equal to 0. Okay, so we can go here if what was that? Inventory items count, okay, is greater than let's say -1, then keep decrementing. Okay, if inventory items not count, of course, it's gonna be find index. Okay, find index and then dot count, guys. Okay, if inventory items which we found, okay, using this find index, look at this inventory items is an array of objects. Find index is the index of that clicked object. And then if the property of, let's say, this Nokia count is greater than -1, okay, so it should be 0, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, then we can decrement. But what if it's 0? So we can still go down and then decrement it, right? So we can put here 6 zeros. So we can only go until 0 in this case. So if it's 1, if it becomes 1, okay, we can decrement one more time. And next time it becomes 0, so 0 is no longer greater than 0, we can't go further. Okay, save it. Now let's have a look, refresh. Yeah, we can go up, but we can go only up to 0. We can't go any more down, but we can go up. Okay. So take a look, guys, and let's have a break. After break, we'll continue. Okay, guys. Anything else that you want me to clarify? How do you feel that increase and decrease logic? Is that something makes sense for you guys? More or less. Oh. Zamira, any questions?
Not
John?
yet.
Not yet. Okay. John, how about you? Okay. If no questions, we can continue. As for increase decrease, you see, we find which item is clicked on index of that item. Okay. And using the index, we can jump into that specific object. So once we are inside an object, okay, let's say we have some properties like this, and we can easily put here dot notation to modify the value of that particular key, right? So if we just put here name, we can, if it's a number, increment. If it's something different, we can modify, update by jumping correctly into that specific object. The same way for decrementing, but decrement should be what be featured only when there is a count is equal to greater than 0 for that clicked object. Cool. All right. So what is next? So let's also show how many items we have selected so far. So let's say 4 items, right? We have selected 1 here, 1 here, and 2 here. That's another simple feature we can show, like at the top right corner of our cart. Okay, top right corner, let's say somewhere over here. So we have selected so far 6 items, and then even more now, 9 items. So it should be shown over here. That can be achieved simply next to shopping cart, for example. Okay, inside a header, let's say that this is what another very simple span that shows us the total count of all objects. Okay, total count. So initially 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, that makes 0. But next time we have some modified objects, right? Let's make this 1 1 1 1. So we should be able to display over here number 4. Okay, but that count is it should be coming dynamically every time when we increase or decrease, right? So here we can also go ahead and then write a logic that counts the entire, all the objects, what? The count values. So here we have the data, which is stored something like this. Get this. So every object has the count values, initially 0, and then 0, and then this one is 0, right? So when this first iPhone is clicked, this one count becomes 1, and next one Samsung is clicked, this one becomes 1. Because Samsung is clicked again, becomes 2, 3, and then iPhone is clicked, becomes 2. So now we have 5 items selected so far. Okay, so that can be calculated using reduce or other regular traditional loops. So let's write here, for example, let total, okay, initially nothing. So for let I of, again, new data, okay, new data, and then we will just add on top of this total. Total becomes total plus I, right, dot count of every object, and then we will create one state over here, const, saying here that total, let's say selected, and then set total. It's going to be equal to use state, and here we will start with 0. Okay, so look at this, tot initially nothing, and then I will iterate over this new data because this is the what gives me the latest data, right? After spreading and then changing some count. I'll loop again one more time, and then what I would do is I will get the values of every object's count property. Okay, and I'll just set this total to this count. I mean this total. Okay, it's of course better to write over here them together. Set items and set total. Okay, and the same logic for what? For this one. Save. Okay, same logic for decrement. That's it. And in that case, I have to reflect this state on my UI over here. Save. See, initial is 0. So let me refresh this one and start again. Okay, not end number. That's another number. Good. Okay, it can happen. Why? Okay, so for let I of new data, okay, I'm jumping into object. Okay, this I is object, and then I that count should give me some value. Oh, okay, tot should be 0, guys, initially. Sorry, tot should be started with 0. Otherwise, I can't make it accumulate some values. Okay, that one works now. Refresh. Yep, 1, 2 over here, and then 1 here makes 3, and then a couple of more here makes 6, and 1 here makes it 7. If I give up from this iPhone, I'll just go and then make it 0. So 5, so already selected from Samsung, from Motorola and Nokia. Okay. Yeah, we can put somewhere here on the right side of this header. So since we have a header, so what is that? CSS header. Right, so we can make a display flex, and then flex direction, not flex direction, justify content space around, save. Okay, it's right here. And we can also assign some bigger values for that span. Let's give him a little larger size, saying that this one is gonna be what style. Okay, border 1 pixel solid black, and then the border radius like 50%, okay, and then padding of 10 pixels. Yep, and let's give quickly the background to see that border background is gonna be white, and then color is black. Color is black. Okay. Padding. Okay, but where is that border radius? Didn't work. Okay, we can just make it 10 pixels. Okay, still some problem. What about this one? If we remove this, the padding, right? Padding is still okay, and How about the height? Height is simply 200 pixels. Maybe even less, 10 pixels. Didn't work, maybe 15. Okay, refresh. Got it. So looks like we just have to make it 25. Still doesn't work, 35. Okay, anyway, yeah. You see, keep setting, keep setting, keep setting, keep setting. That's it. Or we can even decrease and make 0, just putting everything back to 0. Right. Any questions regarding this count? What we are doing is basically every time when we increase and decrease, we increase and decrease, we are getting the count values of every object and then putting on total and updating our total state. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So to do that counting, can you do it with reduce as well?
Of course. Yeah. Let's use this with reduce. Now, see that if you don't have this logic and here let total equal to new data. Okay. New data dot reduce. So we will put one accumulator and then let's one iterator. We start going down by putting here 0 first, right? And then just simply return ACC plus I dot count. That's it. Okay. So I can keep this version as well. And for the decrement, it also works. Yep. Reduce what accumulator starts from 0. And on top of that accumulator, I keep adding the count value of every object that I am iterating using the I. Make sense? So let's have a look, refresh. Here we go. Okay.
Is reduce always gets 2 parameters as an accumulator?
Accumulator? No,
Yeah.
actually you can also put reduce is it's a higher order function. It can take it can if you don't provide an accumulator, what happens? I'm not sure at the moment because I maybe forgetting at the moment. But if you don't provide this 0,
It won't work.
yeah, that causes some unexpected results. Yeah, it's better to maybe have a look at reduce because I haven't like looked reduce. What was that? The behavior for a while, but I know how to use it.
Yeah, I think it just needs 2 parameters: previous value and current value.
Yeah, so that also makes sense. Yep, let's have a look. The previous value, the value restricting we choose. Okay, here and then current value. Previous is the one that we are putting the accumulator. Okay, initial value. Right, the value resulting from the recall to call back on the first, like initial current, initial exceptions. The array contains no limit initial value. Reduced makes. Okay, method takes 2 arguments. Okay, now it's clear. A callback function and an optional initial value. Optional initial value is that accumulator. If initial value is provided, okay, reduce calls to reduce or callback function on each element in the array in order. If no initial value is provided, reduce calls the callback function on each element in the array after the first element. That's also another interesting fact. Reduce returns the value that is returned from the callback function in the final iteration of the array. When to not to use reduce, if elements are appended, so on, so on, so on. So, yeah. It takes 2 parameters and you're gonna provide them. Yeah, I got it. So if you don't provide the first one, say that if you don't put if we don't put the 0 here, where is that one? Yeah, if you don't put 0, the previous value becomes the next iterator's count. So say that it becomes something like this. So here we have 1, right? And then if we have 1 over here, so this one should be our initial, but not that this one. It looks like things went a little weird. Anyway, you can keep 0 now. Yeah, it takes 2 parameters, but the behaviors depends on the logic. Any other questions? All right, so let's attach here one button for every object, which is a remove button. Okay, so remove button can be something from material UI. Let's quickly grab from our to-do list, right? What was that button? And then here, I'll go here and button this one, save it. Don't want anymore, don't want anymore. Every time we need one button for all. So let me create here and put that button. This title price is enough. Save it. Okay. Save it. So this is for remove. Let's have a look. You see, everyone has one remove button attached. So the size little makes problem. Doesn't matter the size. So we can also put that remove maybe down below the phone. Yeah, let's try to put here maybe. Okay, yeah, this one also works, but how about screen gets smaller? Yeah, anyway, yeah, we have remove button. Okay, we can even remove, or let's just put as it used to be. Okay, it's okay now. And then quickly I can give some margin from left. What was that? ME, I think, right? For would that work? ME or ML? Fresh. M4. Okay, well, still a little spaced. Now, your task is to write a function for this button that removes an object. Okay, that removes the clicked image from my UI. So let's have like 5-7 minutes of self work for this feature. Okay, how you come up to remove an item when you click for this button. Okay, so please Slack me once you are done. Just a remove feature for this remove button. Okay. Yeah, you can have a look at this code over here. Even if you have implemented all functionalities so far, you can still be able to write the function, the move function. And then also like create a dummy state, okay? And how you come up to update your state when you click this remove button. So let's do that one. Okay, any answers? Not yet. Shouldn't be that difficult, right? We have done with the to-do list. We have done with looking in vanilla.js, I think. So let's do it together. Pay attention. Just like a couple of operations. That's it. Nothing more. Look at this. On click. Say handle remove. Very simple. Handle remove. And here let's put const handle remove. And of course we need what? ID of that clicked image, clicked object. So in that case, we can send him the ID, which is item.id. Okay, since we have that ID, we can easily filter out. So let new data becomes inventory items coming from state would be looped using the filter. Okay, item equal to item.id is not equal to ID. So I will filter out only the items those ID is not equal to, okay, whose ID is not equal to the ID that I am sending during that click. Okay, whoever has different ID than the ID of incoming click, then that would be filtered out. Simply set items is done. Okay, new data and new data. That's it. Very simple. See, let's check it now. Refresh. Add. And then for him, so there are 12. If I remove this one, I would end up having only 8. You see? Yeah, I removed now, but looks like this is not updated. Oh, yeah, that's simple. That needs to be also updated using what? This logic, right? The set total. I can just grab this and put over here. That needs also be updated, the set total. Okay. So new data is used with the reduce. Okay, and then save it. That's it. So let's refresh one more time. And then increment. So we have 10. If I remove this, we will end up having 7. Okay. Now if I remove, we have 4. In fact, only 4 selected. Okay. If I remove, only 6. Remove, nothing. Make sense? So it looks like this function is is used again and again, right? So we can make it reusable. So let's take this one out from here, which is this one basically. Okay. Control C and put in separate file. So say that's gonna be here. What was that? Calculate total.js. Okay, so I'll make it function calculate total, and this way I will return total. Okay, export default. This calculate total. So let's have a look. So new data. Okay, we have to provide some data here. Data, and it's gonna be data. Okay. So instead of data, when we call this function, we will provide new data or something, and so on. Return data. Save it. And now over here we can import that function. Import calculate, right, from calculate total. Okay. So save it. Actually, this is a regular function. We don't need to put here uppercase. And It's a rule of thumb. No need to put uppercase. Save it, and then save it. Save. Put here. Save. Okay, where are we calculating? Actually, here. One of them is right. So let's remove this. We don't want anymore, but we can easily call here and then provide him this new data. Okay, so this will return some value total, and then we will set our total. And where as well here also, right? So let's also remove this part and call function our new data, not new data, that function name, which is this one, right? Calculate total function. So here I will call calculate total and provide him in an argument, which is new data. So it's the same here. I don't want this. Same here. I don't want, and I'll put here calculate total and just provide him new data. Okay. So this way we avoided writing the same logic again and again, but put inside a separate file. Okay. Still works. If I remove this one, we'll have 8. Remove this, only 5. Cool. Now, next is to show the total price. So look at this, 299 multiplied by 3 plus 350 multiplied by 2. Whatever that total makes should be displayed somewhere here down below, right? So in that case, we will multiply with this count. So the price property multiplied by count property, and then plus price property multiplied by count property plus price property multiplied by count property of every object. And then as a result, it gives me their what? Sum of prices. Okay, sum of prices. So I will just loop over every object and then make sure that the price and the count properties are calculated, and then also keep adding on top of some variable. Okay. So here, that should also be happened inside all these 3 features: during increase, during decrease, during removal. Okay, so let's come up with that logic in separate file then. Okay, that can be what? Calculate total price now.js. Okay, so constant calculate total price takes one data, and based on that data we keep calculating. Say that we have such kind of objects, right? And then it has a count which is 1, and then the price, let's say 100, and then another object count, let's say 2, and then price is, let's say 200. What would be the total price in this case? Is simply 100 plus 400, which is 500, right? Now how can we make it 500 if we have such data? Makes sense? Let's go with the regular way. Let total equal to 0. Okay, and then for let I, should we jump in? Yeah, we should jump. Okay, we don't need to jump actually. Off is enough. For let I of data, and then total becomes total plus, look at this, I dot price, right, multiplied by I dot count of every object. That's it. Return total. Okay. It can also be done with what? With the help of reduce. In that case, let total would be data that reduce takes how many parameters? 2 accumulator and then I, And then we're gonna make it just return ACC plus I dot price multiplied by I dot count. Okay, we're gonna start from 0. That's it. So we can shut it down. And in that case, we will return this total, return total. Okay, save. Makes sense? I price multiplied by count. And export default, this calculate total price. Save. Okay, cool. Now let's import this function over here in our app. Calculate total price from calculate total. Okay, so we need one state for showing that total price. So total price now set price. Okay, set price, and initially it's also 0. So set price is gonna be here. What the function we will call first inside, and then provide him new data. Okay, provide him new data. So new data is something the one we imitated here, like count price, and then we basically looping but multiplying the price and count, adding on top of this accumulator. Okay. And once that function returns some value, we will set this price and use this total price somewhere down below our app, let's say here, okay, at the bottom of this one, like this, save. Okay, so let's say proceed for payment. Save it. Okay, proceed for payment, total price. Of course, we have to apply that same for all different features. Set price, calculate total price, new data, and here as well, and here as well. Save. Okay. So we have here proceed for payment 0. So if I remove that height from cart, it's gonna be dynamic. Okay, so we will have one height here, more dynamic, and then we can even like give some styling for him. Okay, actually class name, let's say P5, padding 5 from all sides. Okay, so proceed for payment. P5 looks really too much. 2 is okay, I think. And yeah, that one works, I think. Proceed for payment. Let's see now. But I want all to be displayed on the same page without scroll. Let's make it not 100, but 90. Hope it works. Okay, this is way better now. Now let's increase, but I have to first refresh. Okay, so 199. If I make 2, it becomes 3998. And if I add this one, let's say 2 times, okay, it's gonna be 400. So 400 is added on top of this. 1, 2. You see, proceed for payment, and so on, so on. So even if I remove, that total would be immediately affected by that removal. So which one has the most selection? Let's say Nokia, right? 5 times. So it's gonna be like around 1650. So if I remove, there's gonna be around 200. I mean 200. You see, around 200. If I remove, it gets decreased, it gets decreased. So now only 3 items from here. If I make 0, 0. Fresh. Makes sense? So now one final feature is searching, right? If I type here, let's say iPhone, or let's say just I should be able to get only the items including this letter I. In that case, I have iPhone and then Nokia. Okay, if I type here, so let's implement that one also. Is simply here on change. Okay, on change, handle, let's say search. Okay, so I don't need to send any event here because this function already targets to my value. Okay, so handle search. Let's put here one function quickly. Const handle search, and then during that search, what I will do is I will what get the value of text. Okay, get the value of text. I'll go and then put here a value. Let's say search text. Search text is coming from my state. Let's create here quickly search text. Initially it is empty. So where is that one? Search text. It is completely empty. Okay, and then set search. I'll just put here empty. Save. So now this set search updates this one. Based on this update, I will I will update my state, this inventory items. Okay, cool. And based on that one, what I would do is I would update my set items. Okay, so say that every time when I search, so let's say I will filter out my items. So let's say filter it. Okay, becomes equal to inventory items. Where is that one? Inventory items dot filter. Okay, I, and then I dot title dot includes what? If I put here event, okay, e dot target dot value. Okay, so what is the problem with this one? Identifier expression let is already a reserved word. Okay, yeah. So every time when I type something, it fires this function. Okay, if it fires this function, I will update my state as well. What is that state? Set items. Set items. Instead of new data, I'll put here filtered. Okay, I'll put filtered. Also, I will update my state, which is set search. Okay, set search becomes e dot target dot value. Save it. That's it. So filter it. Why it's still not used? But its value is never read. It is read now. So since recently my React app started working a little slow. Okay, let's go and then check now. Refresh. Look at this. What actually we are doing. When I type something, this on change fires this handle search, and that handle search sends me some target value. Okay, I'll pick up from my inventory items if that target value is included in my objects. Okay, in my title object titles. So object titles looks like this, right? I have title also here, title, right? And some name over here, let's say iPhone, and then title for him, right? Let's say Nokia. So the moment I start typing, the filter starts searching, hey, title, do you have this letter in your value? Do you have this letter in your value? For every object, it looks. Anyone returns true, that would be filtered as an array of object, and I'll update my state. Okay, save it. Let's have a look now. Fresh. So if I type here it just shows me iPhone and then Nokia. Okay, I can work on them. But if I type here IP, it shows me what? Only iPhone now. Okay, if I remove, if I remove, what happens? Yeah, it should be showing, but because I think mine is working a little slow. iPhone, if I remove, why it's not firing again? When I remove the handle, handle search is fired again. And that one is fired. Interesting. So let's console this one, console.log e dot target dot value, and then console.log inventory items, right? Save. Okay, so here we go. If I type here I, okay, for sure, I is typed, and then I have only 2 objects now. But if I remove, it still shows me 2 items. In that case, okay, got it. In that case, that's correct. Why? Because we are still using the inventory items. That's a problem. Because inventory items last time used to be only 2 items. If you remove, it returns all the 2. Now, how can we make that it puts everything back? Yeah, anyway, you see how filter or searching is working now. With one bug, we will fix that one shortly. That's not a big issue. So if I want to search for Nokia, there is a Nokia, but if I remove this Nokia, my inventory item only has 1 item. And even if I remove, that still returns me this one. But if I type now, it returns nothing. If I remove, I won't have anything. That's correct, but if there is nothing, okay, if filtered. Yeah, any questions regarding this search functionality, guys? Look at this. The function is here, searching, and then the logic is here. Okay. Yeah, try
When
to
do you
understand. Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I always have questions. When do you normally create a new object, like a data, when you do dot, what was that called?
Yeah, when you are trying to modify the state.
Now, so
So,
when you do reduce or filter, do you modify it? No.
so for the filter, we anyway return a new array of objects.
Okay.
Anyway, we're gonna return a new objects, brand new. So that's why we are not spreading.
Mm-hmm.
But here, where is that one? Here, what I'm trying to do is, I'm not using any method. I have to jump into objects to update the count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since there is no any higher order function that returns me new array of objects, I'm creating the copy of my original, and then I'll work with that copy.
Okay. What, like when you did remove button, you also haven't used that dot 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 operation.
Because filter anyway
Mhm.
returns me a brand new
Mhm.
array of objects. Okay, where I don't need to work with with my cloned
Okay.
dot, because this one anyway returns. Because filter never mutates your original data. It returns a new array.
Got it. Well,
Yeah.
and map is also returning a new array, right? But
Yeah,
it's
map
mutated.
also. Yeah, that's why you don't need to uh, copy in that situation.
Okay. Okay. I see. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So for the search, so if I remove, means that there is nothing. Okay, that one is fired again. Interesting. Actually, so if that one is removed, filter it. Yeah, this is the most feature that I have been doing actually, the search. But let me refer to some other codes that I built earlier. So
Talking about the data, do they normally always, well, not always, but normally have the ID?
yeah, they have
Okay.
IDs. Yeah.
Because I'm looking what you always like. Today's now we're doing, or we're dealing with ID when you remove or doing something.
Yep. That's why all the time the data is coming with ID. So for example, if we hit some fake APIs here, say that what was that JSON placeholder? Any available API has now here all with some IDs. This one has ID, user ID, and then the photos. Every photo has ID.
Now about
See,
our project
ID.
for the task reducer, should I add ID as well? Is it going to be better?
Yeah. With ID, like all the functionalities become really smooth to work with.
Mhm. Okay.
Otherwise, this kind of features, look at this, like clicking, searching, incrementing, decrementing. It would be difficult based on name or based on price or based on index. But based on ID, it's way simpler. You can still work with based on name.
Mhm. Yeah, I was trying to do it. I'm like, I need an ID, I guess, because it's not working.
Of
Yeah,
course, you need ID.
I add it.
So what was the search functionality we're working? Look like this one doesn't have search functionality where I have search. We don't have search here. Okay. Let me think about it. Look at this. So when I type I, okay, it filters me only two objects. Then my invented items becomes two array of objects. If I remove my inventory items becomes nothing. State is updated. So when I remove, I have to put, if there is nothing, okay, you can do something like that. Say that if filter that length, you can go with this way. If filter doesn't have length, it looks like we will create a new copy data. Okay, new copy of data. Inventory items. Just to save this one, and just to save. Instead of filter, we're gonna pass new data. Else. So here, basically, I'm copying, I'm cloning to save somewhere else my original data. So if you find something, okay, say that only one object, okay, we will return it because we will have length, and then we will show on our UI. But when I type nothing on the search, it will return also nothing. So the length becomes 0. In that case, I'll jump to this statement by providing my original data back to my set items. Let's try to work on it. So let's say that iPhone, okay, I have one item. If I remove, refresh. So when I remove, nothing is coming. Set. Oh, again, I inventor items is again assigned back to this one, right? Okay. It won't work again. Yep. So this original data is updated. Okay, I can actually call this data directly right here. Okay, now then this one works. We don't even want this. Save. I will just directly call this data. So if I have iPhone, okay, but still, again, I'm gonna refresh one more time. Okay, set items data. When we don't have length, iPhone, I remove. Interesting. Okay, not a big issue actually.
Should I use like filter.length less than 1 or something like that? Is it logical or?
No, because if it's 0 anyway, it would make false. If it's 1, it would make true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't need to put here like if it's greater than 0. Yeah. But oh, it's really interesting. That this is the most commonly used my React feature actually searching. But yeah, most of the times I was using with the class components. So let me quickly grab if there is something regarding the search functionality from class components. Okay, so oops, I clicked on share. Now let me quickly grab another. So here we have let me just quickly look how it looks like. Do we have search? Check a new task we don't have. Okay, and then shopping items, shopping cart. Let me check. Price. Okay, remove handle. Where I did search actually. So we know about items. This must be with the class components. If there is nothing, okay, how about if I look from the original data, which is, if I want to search, no. Interesting. Anyway, yeah. Maybe we need some fresh air. Otherwise, this searching is the simplest, the most easiest feature comparing to others. Okay, we will handle it one anyway, so no worries. So let me share these files one more time. So we have this calculate, and then this calculate total app.js, and then app.css. Everything I'll share over the Slack one more time. Okay. All right, guys. That's all for today. Talk to you then.